In this case, employee A and employee B were in the HR department of a manufacturing company, and A has access to the attendance system due to a jobs, and however he changed a attendance record and hid some employee absent. In return, he received personal benefit from those employees, and this was an abuse of power and against the company rules. And employee B noticed that some attendance records were not correct, and after he checking the record, he suspected that employee A was doing something wrong, and instead of ignoring the issue, he reported it to his supervisor and followed the proper procedures. The company then carried out an investigation. It found that the employee A had changed the attendance record and received a benefit in return. And due to this, the employee A was dismissed for misconduct and violating HR ethics. Overall, this case showed the several moral issues in the workplace, such as abuse of power, dishonest, and unfair treatment. Next, identify the vices or virtues of employee A. First, for a deception. A changed an attendance record and create a false information in the HR system. And he also hid the employee absence by changing the attendance data. This action has shown a dishonest and lack of integrity. And second, for a overindulgence, a misuse his position in the HR department for personal gain. He used his authority to change a record and receive a benefit from others. This shows a greed and an abuse of power. On the other hand, employee B showed a positive ethical behavior. For justice, B reported the issue after noticing that something was wrong, and he did not ignore the problem and helped ensure that employees were treated fairly. For responsibility, B have checked the attendance record carefully and report the issues through the proper channel. Even though it was a sensitive situation, he still carried out his duties as an HR employee. So overall, individual A demonstrated the vices of deception and overindulgence, while the employee B demonstrated the virtues of justice and responsibility. This slide analyzes the action of employee A and employee B using Aristotle's golden mean. For employee A, the first vice is deception. From the graph, this is shown on the left side. He manipulated attendance record and report false information, which show a dishonest and is far from the golden mean. Furthermore, the second vice is overindulgence. He misuses his HR authority for personal gain and prioritizes his own interests over company policies. This also appears on the left side of the graph, with showing an excess in the use of power. So overall, the both actions for employee A fall on the right side of the graph, away from the golden mean. In contrast, the employee B demonstrated the virtue of the justice. He reported the attendance irregularities, ensured that the company rules were applied fairly, and did not ignore unethical behavior. And this action reflects a fairness and respect for a working place ethic, and therefore is perfectly positioned in the center, the golden mean of the chart. In addition, employee B also demonstrated responsibility. He investigated the irregular record, followed the proper reporting process, and fulfilled his HR duties professionally. As a result, it is also perfectly pointed in the center of the graph, which is the golden mean point. Action step to develop virtues by employee A. First, to cultivate the virtues of honesty, one must consistently practice honesty in both word and deed. By developing the habit of transparency and accuracy, honestly will gradually become part of one character. This can help one become a person who values trust over personal gain. And second, to cultivate the virtues of temperance, one must learn self-control and moderation. One must restrain oneself and make balanced decisions rather than begin driven by personal desires. Through repeat the practice, temperance becomes a habit, helping one exercise authority responsibility. According to the Aristotle, righteousness is not cultivated overnight, but is formed gradually through repeated action and good habit. Therefore, by consistently practicing honesty and temperance, Employee A can transform his negative character traits into positive virtues and become a more ethical person.